Hello, 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 hello. All right, our next poet, Margaret Fox, is a delight. From the Isles of sunny California, and a flower in her hair. Margaret Fox.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I'm going to read two of mine. First, I'm going to read one from a lovely anthology I found called Irish Poets After Yeats. And the poem is by Patrick Kavanagh, called The Long Garden. It was the garden of the golden apples, a long garden between a railway and a road. In the sow's rooting where the hen scratches, we dipped our fingers in the pockets of God. In the thistly hedge, old boots were flying sandals by which we traveled through the childhood skies. Old buckets, rusty holed with half-hung handles, were drums to play when old men married wives. The pole that lifted the clothesline in the middle was the flagpole on a prince's palace when we looked at it through fingers crossed to riddle in evening sunlight miracles for men. It was the garden of the golden apples. And when the Carrick train went by, we knew that we could never die till something happened, like wishing for a fruit that never grew, or wanting to be up on Candlefort above the village with its shops and mill. The racing cyclists' gasped reports hinted of pubs where life can drink his fill. And when the sun went down into Drumcaton and the new moon by its little finger swung from the telegraph wires, we knew how God had happened and what the blackbird in the white thorn sang. It was the garden of the golden apples, the halfway house where we had stopped the day before we took the west road to Drumcaton, where the sun was always setting on the play. Thanks. I just love that. It just felt so evocative of just kind of stepping out, losing yourself, and getting yourself out in the middle of something wonderful. The two I'm going to read are related poems, although they were written a couple years apart. The first one is called Sculptured Beach, and it's a beach in Point Reyes, California. Point Reyes is the north of San Francisco. It's the little peninsula that's moved about 300 miles up the coast slowly. It's with the seismic activity, it is actually splitting off from California. It's just a little peninsula of land, and the geology is so varied. The beaches are all different, and it was only set into like a protective federal status in the 60s. It's federal protected land. So Sculptured Beach is a little tiny hidden beach, only accessible on a extreme minus low tide, which we didn't know. My sister and I didn't know. We just set out, we're gonna go check it out. And you had to walk a 4-mile coast trail first, and then when you get to the edge, you have to go down a little horse trail to get down to it. So we did it. We just happened to be there at the right time. And then when we got up to the top, the sun went down. And we had 4 miles to go back on the coast trail. So the second poem starts there. And we could have, I didn't worry that we could get back. We'd just have to walk along a flat trail. But a little girl from the youth hostel named Heidi from Australia came running by, and she goes, "Oh, I'm going back there too, come on." And we just flew through down the trail in the dark. And it was magic. So these two poems are connected. The first one is Sculptured Beach, Point Reyes, California, for Anna Karen. A sunny trail before us beckons and calls, soft her voice of dry dust and hidden waterfalls. Cattail shadow, dry bone hollow, mark the path that we must follow. Along the dusty road you find treasure eons left behind. From inland lake, the creature's bones to ocean side as polished stones. Eucalyptus, ancient one, throne of a hill your place in the sun. We stop at the crossroads to take our rest. We seek the shade of your great root nest. Then cliff edge, oh, the pain of standing on the brink. No, fortunate, a horse trailed down, I think. So like nimble deer, fleetfoot and sure, wending our way to the ocean lure. We reach at last a sandy beach. We step and leap, then stop to see. Through caves and arches the tide retreats, the sculptor still at work, it seems. In sheltered caves the limpet sleep, cliffs bear wounds of dragon claws. Light at the summit, blue and deep, dark sky of evening gives us pause. Now when golden day is done, down in the meadow, coyotes run. Thanks. This one is Hunter's Moon for Heidi in Australia, running under southern skies, and for my sister Anna Karen in memory. Hunter's Moon, 1, Fair Oaks, New York. Stepping into night, hand raised against the glare of amber street light, scanning for meteors, shards of Halley's Comet, seen only in deeper darkness, seeking in vain this night. Orion striding across the slate sky follows Hunter's Moon to the western hills. 2, this is, I didn't write it, this is for Point Reyes. Someday I will run again, if only in my dreams, through total darkness, the coast trail over Limatour with Anna Karen, led by Heidi, who found the way for us through the eucalyptus corridor, past Sentinel, Cypress, Peppery, windswept back to the youth hostel. Night so close it poured down around our faces, stars so near we could hear their whispering shimmer, while meteors filled the meadows of night sky with lights of blue galena and gold fire. Heidi taught us how to fly, unafraid, to see by scent, by the sound of grasses bending. She laughed about the tree roots reaching ominously for our feet, and we were airborne, cresting the last hill, down to the hostel's beacon light, and Hunter's Moon was blooming bright.